Hi, welcome to She Spice. Consider the possibility that I let you know that Sha Diddy Brushes has been clutching tapes so stunning they could annihilate Jennifer Lopez's standing, the sort of tapes that could make you question everything you assumed you had some awareness of JLO's ascent to distinction and the genuine. Explanation for her part from Ben Affle, the video fale. It's tape fale. I wouldn't want it out. Have you seen it? Have I seen it yet? It doesn't stop there. How far did Diddy go to cover his tracks? And could this be the last nail in the casket for JLO and Ben's currently delicate relationship? Jo is tragically in her failure time, and Ben Affleck has purportedly reached a limit and has purportedly moved out of their home. Might it at some point be his contorted approach to deriding Ben Affleck later in his new battles? And what precisely do these tapes uncover about the Hollywood symbol? How about we figure it out, you see? Jennifer Lopez and Sean P. Diddy Combs have a history. They met on the arrangement of her music video, Assuming You Had My Affection, in 1999 prior to parting in 2001 in the midst of reports. Diddy then, at that point, known as Puff Daddy, had been faithless, something Lopez later affirmed someone, and they were, attempting to converse with me, and I know it was where you cut it off also. You're not conversing with the individual you're similar to. No, it's ready to move on. And not look back. It's done. The match was captured not long after they began dating, following a firing at a Times Square club in December 1999 that left 3 individuals harmed. She was crying a ton. She was a wreck. Probably what was going through her brain is her vocation flying away with a sense of finality. The shooting originated from a contention among Diddy and a Brooklyn hooligan named Matthew Allen, who was nicknamed Scar, yet Diddy, his protector Anthony Jones, and Sparkle Pushcart got through a 7-week preliminary in February and walked 2001, which finished with Diddy and Jones strolling free in hand truck then, at that point, 21 being sentenced on attack and weapon ownership and condemned to 10 years in jail. This actually encompasses the Club New York shooting, particularly for previous investigator Parker, who left the purported hip-hop cop crew at the NYPD and is presently regardless. Very private specialist Diddy has been hounded for a really long time by reports that he spread the word about Sparkle now as Moses Michael Levi Cart, who is the resistance head of the place of delegates in business, accepts all negative consequences for the episode. The story was that Puff was flossing, which is what they call somebody on the roads, who's tossing cash around and behaving like a hotshot. Parker said Scar felt affronted in light of the fact that he felt he was just about as significant as Puff, and words were traded, and afterward slugs began flying, shots were discharged, and Lopez and Diddy escaped the club after the shooting in a Lincoln Pilot. Diddy's driver, Wardell Fenderson, later said that he blew past a few red lights as they careened down 43 RD Road and onto 8th Road, winding beyond 2 squad cars. Sparkle busted off in the air. Fenderson cited Lopez as saying before cops pulled them over, previous NYPD Derek Parker told the Post how in the region her mom was shouting at JLO in Spanish, and she was truly distraught at Jennifer. I heard her say, "I told you not to engage with him, Puffy," the evening of the shooting. That was somewhat the start of the end of their relationship, since it then became risky for her profession to be involved with him. Lopez was set free from authority without being charged following 14 hours in prison. In a real meeting with English Law in July 2000, Lopez opened up about a frightening experience that shook her world, portraying it as a total bad dream. Clearly, no one truly cares about being captured, however, or going through all that sort of stuff. It's a truly awful experience. The repercussions of the shooting episode were not bound to profound scars alone. Fights in court followed, enhancing the intricacies of an all-around troubling circumstance. In 2008, a faltering claim adding up to $130 million was documented against Brushes by one of the casualties looking for compensation for the harms brought about during the episode in the long run. In 2011, Combs came to a settlement with every one of the 3 people counting the casualty, the terms of which were kept classified now. It seems like Lopez might get a call from Combs' legal counselors. A specialist told In Touch week after week that Lopez might have first-hand information because of the New York City club shooting that she and Combs were a section of in 1999. Jennifer Lopez's presence the evening of the shooting episode and afterward withdrawing in a similar vehicle, as comms makes her an observer with first-hand information and could expose her to being summoned to a firm after swearing to tell the truth. New York attorney Pete Glenn expressed assuming that there are any criminal allegations or common cases not outside the legal time limit. This would probably demonstrate hazardous for Lopez. Lopez talked about past harmful connections in her 2024 narrative. The best romantic tale never told is muddled, which ex she was alluding to. There were individuals in my day-to-day existence who said I loved you and afterward didn't do things that were somewhat in accordance with the word love being tossed around and mistreated. Like that isn't fun. Lopez participated in the Amazon Prime document, which hit the streaming stage in February 2024. She added, I was never seeing someone I got beat up. Say thanks to God, however. I've certainly been mauled and a couple of other upsetting things unpleasant and rude. In the meantime, one individual appears to question JLO's new development. You see, Sugg. Knight has uncovered his hypothesis for the reason for the reports whirling that Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez are getting a separation, and it revolves around shamed terrible kid music leader Diddy in a new episode of his digital recording gathering calls with Knight the previous death row. The chief made a progression of dangerous claims recommending a strange association between the FBI and Jennifer Lopez and her alienated spouse Ben Affleck. Knight asserted that the FBI gave over tapes implicating Lopez that were recovered from strikes on Diddy's homes in Miami and Los Angeles to Affleck. Knight says the content on the tapes is possibly causing a fracture in Affleck's marriage with Lopez. They go assault Puffy House, and they get this large number of recordings of JLO doing this and JLO doing that. Knight began off by repeating the scandalous dance club shooting episode in 1999 that involved Lopez and Diddy, involving it as a reference highlight to show the disintegration of JLO's validity. And they know the way that JLO lied and said that the weapon was sparkles or whatever, and sent that man to jail, which annihilated his life, and she realized it was Puffy's. He said he further intimated that the FBI had chosen to tell Affleck about the revelation of the supposed tapes due to the potential effect they could cause. Would it be a good idea for them to open up to the world, similar to the aftermath from Diddy's 2016 In attack tape on his ex Cassie? I'm very certain they presumably called. He said, what's more, the FBI gave regard and a gracious call to Ben Affleck. It's a white man who got regard in the white world. I'm very sure they said we need to show you some things about your significant other when he saw the ish that her and Puff were doing and who there's nothing they wouldn't do with. I'm very certain that they gave him those tapes, and I'm very certain he can never take a gander at her the same. He proceeded to recommend that Affleck would not be able to accommodate his affections for Lopez in light of her past activities. Subsequent to seeing the tapes, I'm very sure they set out towards separate, in light of the fact that that is a man who had a decent life. He said extraordinary guardians don't burn through huge load of cash, ain't stumbling off paparazzi. He's living his life. He finished his own group. She brought all the extra is out, and presently that MFEW out anyway. There are theories that JLO's past with Diddy isn't the main thing that is causing strain in her union with Affleck on May 15th. A source solely uncovered to In touch that Ben and Jennifer were set out toward separate from after he moved his effects out of their common home. The composing is on the wall, it's over. They're set out toward a separation, and for once Ben's not to fault the insider, said he's zeroing in on his work and his children, now that Ben previously moved out, and they'll likely need to sell them. Fantasy house they spent 2 years looking for. They won't ever quit adoring one another, yet she can't control him, and he can't change her. It's absolutely impossible that it might have endured. The source proceeded, and they stood by just about to a very long time to reunite. However, in the end, they just couldn't make it work. They both said they developed and learned from their mix-ups. However, a portion of the greater issues that destroyed them the first time continued as before, as indicated by sources near the circumstance Jennifer may shake Ben into remaining with her. The gossip plant has been humming with claims that Jennifer knows a portion of Ben's most profound privileged insights, including bits of hearsay about his sexuality. These privileged insights, whenever uncovered, might actually harm Ben's profession. Furthermore, individual nurturing Jenner The influence she wants to keep him by her side insiders recommends that Jennifer has been utilizing this information to control Ben, guaranteeing that he stays in a relationship that he could somehow need to leave. This supposed shakedown is supposed to be the explanation for their turbulent on-egg, again off once more relationship. So from where did Ben's gay bits of hearsay begin? You will be astonished to realize that it was when Matt Damon and Ben's companionship was at its pinnacle, and individuals began guessing something more than companionship. In 2023, Matt Damon crossed paths with the LGBTQ, also local area when he offered remarks. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.